There are two items on today's agenda. The first item is the New York City Administration for Children's Services with a description of ACS programs and service presentation. We're joined by Deputy Commissioner for External Affairs, Stephanie Gendel, and a host of staff from ACS, which I will have the Commissioner introduce. And then secondly, a presentation by the Sanitation Foundation, which is an overview of organization and initiatives for this coming summer. The Borough President's Office has worked with the Sanitation Foundation for a number of years on summer cleanups, and so we're looking forward to doing that once again this year. I will hold off on attendance just to see if anybody else shows up. There was a discrepancy on our agenda. The 13th became the 23rd. So that is why some folks did not see the correct date. So having said that, this presentation that we have today will be shared with all of the members of the Borough Board. And as you see, we are being telecast live on BronxNet, and the presentation and this meeting will be posted on our website for people to review as well. So with that, Commissioner.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us. As the introduction stated, we're from the New York City Administration for Children's Services. I'm here with a team of mine, and we are going to talk to you about the services and supports that are available in your community, meaning throughout the Bronx. As you may know, ACS protects and promotes the safety and well-being of children, youth, and families through various community supports, child welfare services, and juvenile justice services. Today, we're going to focus on a portion of what's on this list. For community supports, we're going to talk about community partnerships and family enrichment centers. For child welfare, we're going to talk about the family support services and prevention services in your community. And then finally, we're going to talk about how you could become a foster parent. And so I'm going to handle the clicker, and then my colleagues are going to come and talk about their portion. And we're going to start with family enrichment centers. And since I don't have my list of everyone's title, instead of botching it up, I'm going to have you say your name and your title so I don't get it wrong. Although I know your name, I don't know your title.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. My name is Lisa Marie Gordills, and I'm Executive Director for the Family Enrichment Centers over at ACS within the Division of Child and Family Wellbeing. So happy to kick it off this morning. Thank you for having me. So Family Enrichment Centers are warm and welcoming family-centered spaces that are co-designed and community-driven with parents, caregivers, and community members. They're open to everyone in the community, but outreach is targeted primarily to parents and caregivers with children in the catchment area that the Family Enrichment Center serves. We have a total of 30 contracts now operating citywide that are operated by community-based organizations. Some of our community-based organizations are larger child welfare organizations, and others are smaller grassroots providers in the city. Each FEC is operated by a director and a small group of family advocates and community liaisons. And decision-making is done in partnership with an advisory council consisting of majority of parents and caregivers that live in the community that are helping the Family Enrichment Center staff co-design offerings and leading, community voice in their centers. FECs are strengthened in three different ways. FECs strengthen families in three interconnected ways. One, by promoting offerings in the community that promote protective factors. Two, everyday interactions among visitors. So walking into the Family Enrichment Center, accessing on-site resources and supports like laundry, food pantry, or clothing closet that many family enrichment centers have on site, and facilitating warm handoffs to community services and supports and partners in the community that family enrichment center serves that may be outside of what the family enrichment center staff can provide. So they're providing kind of those referrals of families to other partners in the community. Very unique about the family enrichment centers is that family Community members don't need to share any personal information to visit or participate at FEC. They are not case management programs, so we don't require any intake assessments, eligibility screenings, or documentation upon arrival. And families are not referred to an FEC. They can visit whenever they want. It's not mandated at all. They can walk in and access the resources, offerings, and supports at a Family Enrichment Center. This is just a quick slide, just sharing that the model was developed by ACS as a homegrown approach, and the rooted framework is in the Center for the Social Policy Strengthening Families framework. So all of the offerings, activities, and resources at FECs promote one or more of those protective factors. Why might a family visit an FEC? Various reasons. At the below here, you'll see sometimes they just want to sit, relax, reflect, and have coffee in a safe space to begin to build trust and relationship building at the family enrichment centers. Others, they'll activities like offerings, have discussions with neighbors, pick up or drop off a donation, learn a new skill, or talk to the FEC's family advocate or community liaison to get other supports in the community. There are 9 total Bronx FECs. 2 of these FECs on this list, Circle of Dreams and Our Place, were part of the pilot program in 2017 as the first 3 family enrichment centers. So those have been operating for about 7 to 8 years now. And our newest FEC, the 30th that rounded us out, the expansion, and their contract began January 1st, 2026, is our Pelham Parkway Morris Park FEC in BX11. So they don't have a name yet because they're working to engage community members in their catchment area and identify a site for their space. But all FECs on this list are in varying stages of implementation because of this phased expansion that we've been in over the past 3 fiscal years. Some of them, like the first 2, have been operating for a long time. Others have just, opened their physical site and are continuing to have offerings and engage their community. So how to connect with an FEC, you have a QR code up here, but also on the flyer that I shared this morning. Contact the Family Enrichment Center directors directly to ask questions, set up a visit, set up a tour of their center, or develop an ongoing partnership and relationship. Use the FEC's website and or Instagram. All of the FECs at this point have an Instagram. Some of them have websites. So those are the primary ways that they market their offerings and their activities in the community. And again, family members, anyone can walk in at any time. Typical operating hours are about 10 to 6, although that may vary based on an evening offering or weekend offering that family enrichment center may have scheduled. And continue to follow and interact with them. I think that's all for me.
Thank you. And just one technical, logistical thing is we left the FEC flyer at the front, and then I have 3 more flyers, and I have them here, so we'll make sure you get them. Next up is my colleagues who will talk about community partnerships.
Thank you, Stephanie. And thank you for having us. We're really excited that we're able to share this information with the Bronx community boards. So I'm here with my colleague, Deidre Sutton, who's the Senior Advisor for Community Initiatives. I'm Dale Joseph, Associate Commissioner in the Office of Community Engagement and Partnerships at ACS. So just to say a little bit about how we're going to tag team. So I'll talk about the what the partnerships are, and Deidre will talk about why we have the partnerships. So since 2007, ACS has been funding these voluntary coalitions. So hopefully you've all heard of them. Hopefully some of the folks from the partnerships have come to your boards and made presentations. If they haven't, I'm sure they would love to be there. We can also come out and talk to your board as well, if that is of interest. So these are coalitions. ACS has been funding them and supporting nonprofits, human service agencies, community leaders, city agencies, faith, clergy. Anyone who wants to come to a partnership can be a part of it. They're open to all. And they're essentially networking opportunities. About 500 to 600 members citywide participate in 11 partnerships. In the Bronx, we have 3. And in addition to the monthly network meetings, we have we ask the partnerships to focus on family-focused community events, because we know that community members often don't know where services are in their community. And so there's a lot of isolation. People don't often come out to community board meetings. They don't often come out. And so the partnerships go to them. So these events, as you'll see in the picture here, is one of the events that they offer. This is just a sampling. They offer many programs in the community. They work together as partners to really think about what the community needs. They ask the community what they need. They work very closely with community ambassadors who live in the community and are really trusted workers, trusted individuals who can get information out into the neighborhoods. So a lot of information. Oops, sorry. Just one more bullet. What they do, similar to the FECs but different, is that they go out into the neighborhoods. They're not site-based, so the FECs are physical spaces. The partnerships go out. They do have offices, some have storefronts, but they really physically go out and find people, talk to people, get information out, hand out flyers, find out what people need. So there are some referrals that are made. Again, referrals in quotes because it's not a formal case management program. It's really a very informal, loosely structured initiative that really helps people to get what they want when they need it. And so lots of different sorts of services are provided by the partners who make up the network: housing, employment, healthcare, mental health services, and many more services are offered. So we really want people to come to the partnerships to learn what's in their neighborhood. And the best way really is to be in touch with the partnership staff or one of us. So I'll turn it over to Deidre, and she'll talk about the why.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well this morning. Again, thank you for having us. So the why. Why get involved with the community partnerships? They reduce provider-client isolation to increase service utilization. So there are over 50 different organizations that are involved, from grassroots organizations to community-based organizations, residents, and city agencies like ourselves. And they communicate about different ways in which families could tap into opportunities to help get their basic needs met. Community partnerships increase provider collaboration to reduce unnecessary duplication. So we all know that services are being cut left and right. And if the community partnerships are collaborating and working together, they can help fill those gaps. Increase community awareness and increasing community awareness of access to concrete resources. That's what the community partnerships are about, making sure that families know about different resources in their community that are free or at a very low cost. They give them information, they tell them about different services, and they create a one-stop shop to reduce that frustration as to having a family go to so many different multiple systems to tell their story, why they need service. They reduce family stressors and increase its stability. And they mitigate that risk from coming into the child welfare system. Because if they know about the services that are in their community for free, we're hoping that that would prevent that. And for those families that are within the child welfare system, it's good for them to also know what services are in their community. And basically, overall, the community partnerships are great to be involved in. They help you connect with people. They offer reliable referrals, and they offer stability to families. So I don't know if anybody has any quick questions. No, we don't have any time. Okay. Yes, and also I just wanted to say, for those that are not here, if you want to get in contact with us, you can reach us at OCEP mailbox at acs.nyc.gov. Thank you. Sorry. So we have 11 community partnerships throughout New York City. I guess you're not getting rid of me yet. And we have 3 in the Bronx and Mott Haven, Hunts Point, and Highbridge.
Next, we're going to talk about our family support services.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Bowling. I am one of the assistant commissioners with the Family Services Division, also known as Prevention Services. And in the audience today, I'm joined with my associate commissioner, Audra Palacio. So, Family Services Division, formerly known as Prevention Services, partners with over 40 provider agencies delivering over 140 programs in communities throughout the 5 boroughs of New York City. Annually, there are about 11,000 families and approximately 31,000 children in the city who receive these services. You should know that ACS leads the country in the implementation of evidence-based, evidence-informed, and promising practice prevention programs. These services are offered primarily in-home and in a manner that's aligned with the diverse cultures and needs of New York City families. These services are free, they're voluntary, and they're available to all New Yorkers. The services that we provide, of course, come from community-based organizations, and they are available regardless of language. Family services are available, again, free of charge, and again, no insurance is required. So families who have children from 0 to 18 years of age, up to 21 if they're exiting foster care, are also eligible for these services. Also, are expecting parents, whether they're teens or adults, are also eligible for these services as well. And again, reiterating that these services are indeed voluntary. So we have a full spectrum of services from case management to clinical support. Our family support programs support families with either case management, resources, navigating systems, service referrals, and these services are offered throughout the borough. Usually the length of service is anywhere from 9 to 12 months, and these are in-home services. Our therapeutic and treatment programs also, while they offer case management, they really focus on families who have been impacted by some level of family conflict and violence, whether there's severe trauma and or mental health or substance misuse treatment is needed. The length of service for these families are anywhere from 4 to 12 months. They are also providing in-home supports, and these you'll find that there are more frequent visits made to the home. These programs service the entire boroughs. So we also provide homemaking services. So homemaking services collaborate with case management teams to assist parents in enhancing family functioning and promoting positive outcomes for children in the community. So homemakers, they are a great support to parents, and they help them with household management and parenting skills, as you can see, such as budgeting, meal planning, and time management. They also help with creating daily routines, scheduling meals, homework, which is important for our youth, as well as making sure that there's playtime allotted. They assist with identifying and engaging with community resources, and this is not limited to local parks, libraries, and community centers. And they also can provide 24-hour in-home care in specific situations, and this is when a parent finds themselves being hospitalized and there's no supports there. The homemakers can assist in those cases. So here we wanted to make sure that you understood that these are the array of programs that are in this borough, and we, of course, can provide contact information at any time. Next slide. So ACS has created the support line, and the support line is a very clear pathway to support families in reaching out for supports. We only ask that you guys call 212-676-7667, and it's a free call. Information is confidential, and we're there to support with all concrete services and any connection to prevention or prevention continuum. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have an array of services and support specifically focused on teens, which our next speaker will talk about.
Good morning. I am Tracy Wellman. I am the Executive Director of the Family Assessment Program at ACS, which is a program within the Division of Youth and Family Justice. We provide services for families who are dealing with crisis in their community, and we have an office in each of the 5 boroughs. Our office in the Bronx is right down the street on 161. So our office is staffed with licensed social workers. All of our offices are, and they really partner with families. They meet with the family when they come in. These families are presenting with a lot of behavioral challenges with their young person. It could be truancy, drug use, verbal aggression, gang involvement. When they come to us, they are really in crisis and they're really looking for a lot of support. So we meet with the family and we really provide them with a lot of the services that are available here in the Bronx. We have an email. If anyone has any questions, they can reach us by our email, fapinquiry@acs.nyc.gov, or you can actually call our Bronx office, which is located, like I mentioned, on 260 East 161st Street, sub-level. Our director of that office is Craig Walsh, and he's here today. So you can reach out to Craig and or the office if you have any questions. So FAP is under the Community-Based Alternatives Programs within DYFJ, and we provide a lot of programs that can really focus on behavioral challenges. We have a family stabilization program as well as a respite program, what I'll speak a little bit about more. We have a mentoring program. We have gender responsive programs, Just Us, as well as evidence-based in-home therapy, which is FFT, ESFT, and MST. So our family respite program is a really short-term program. It's up to 30 days where a youth is placed in respite care. This is not foster care. This is actually a voluntary respite care that the parent and the youth agrees to. And during that time that they're in the respite home, they are really doing a very intensive evidence-based program that's really kind of structured to work on those behaviors that that young person is displaying at home. And oftentimes, a lot of these behaviors place them at risk of out-of-home placement. So really trying to avoid that, they have the option of going into a respite while they're working on those programs. This program is voluntary, like all of our programs at FAP are voluntary and they're free. And immigration is not of a concern to us. And during the time that they're in respite care, they remain in the custody of their parent. Their parent is agreeing for them to go into respite as well as the youth, so they have all legal right to their child. They're not being removed from their child. And what respite does is it gives family a time to really, first of all, have a separation because a lot of the behaviors that they're displaying is really causing some instability in the family, and it's giving them a time to heal and kind of just take a breather while they're with the respite provider, who is New York Fallon, is working with the caregiver as well as the young person in the respite home. We can go back. You can contact New York Fallon at this link here, and they are looking for respite for parents if anyone is interested. So if you or anyone you know is interested in being a respite parent, they can contact this number and get some more information. One of our programs that we also have in community-based alternatives is Girls Just Us, and this program is gender responsive for girls, anyone identifying female that are involved or at very high risk of being involved in the Juvenile Justice Center. The provider here in the Bronx for Just Us is Rising Ground. We have a program here in the Bronx, one in Brooklyn as well as Queens, and they start working with youth at age 12 up to 18 for about 6 months. This program provides support groups, workshops, to identify relationships and activism for young girls in our community. And one of the programs that are newest to our continuum at Family Assessment Program is our ACES program. This is a program that is also gender responsive to males aged 16 to 24 who are residing in the South Bronx. And these are young men who have really, they have very extremely high risk behaviors, and they have not been amenable to other services in the past. So they may not be going to school. They may be going to school, but they could be going to school and not maybe doing too much while they're in school. It could be justice involved, underemployed. And they work with young males from 16 to age 24 for 4 years. So it's a very long program, and it's a very intensive program where they're having daily contact with the young person. They have a work program, and this program, ACES, is overseen by our agency Cases. And this is the contact information if anyone has any questions to reach out to them. These are our services within the community-based alternatives at DYFJ here in the Bronx. Children's Aid is one of our providers, as well as New York Foundling cases, as I mentioned, in Rising Ground. And then the last section breaks it down, which agency provides what services here in the Bronx for our young people.
Thank you. So all of these services and supports that we've been talking about are aimed at keeping children and youth home with their families. But as you know, there are still children that need to come into foster care, and we're always looking for more foster parents. And so we're going to talk more about that.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Karen Rivera, and I'm the Assistant Commissioner for the Office of Strategic Program Support. And I'm here joined with my colleague, Florence Fontaine. So say hi, Florence. So we're super excited to talk about foster parent recruitment, right? Foster home recruitment is a core collective priority. We're all about creating capacity to accept and care for children and youth with complex needs entering foster care. We have revamped recruitment and training for foster parents to ensure that foster parents have the support that they need. The Office of Foster Parent Recruitment and Support under FPS, we partner with 21 provider agencies throughout the 5 boroughs, and we use our home away from home recruitment framework, which is all about being very data-driven, evidence-informed, and very collaborative when we're partnering with our foster care agencies. OFPRS shares data and best practices for recruitment. One of our best recruitment strategies is our foster parents, right? Research tells us the best recruitment foster parent is a happy foster parent. Next. So these are some foster parent demographics. There are 1,405 foster homes in the Bronx. The graph right here is 1/3 of all of the foster parents that are from the Bronx, right? So out of 4,241 foster homes, 33% are from the Bronx, 28% from Brooklyn, 21% Queens, 13% Manhattan, and 5% Staten Island. The community districts with the highest percentage of foster parents in the Bronx are 12, 9, 3, and 4. And this table right here just breaks down all the community districts in the Bronx. It gives you the number of homes and the percentages. We have a total of 12 foster care agencies served in the Bronx, and they're right here listed below. Right now, the foster homes that we need are homes for children with complex behavioral development and medical needs. We need homes for sibling groups. We need homes for teens. And we have a foster parent one-pager, which we'll be sharing and giving out. But more importantly, if any of you are interested in becoming a foster parent, if you're thinking, you're curious, please reach out to me and Florence today, and we're happy to have a conversation. Thank you.
So I'll just take a moment to say thank you. We do have flyers. There's one on the FECs, one on community partnerships, one on how to contact the support line, and one on how to become a foster parent. If you ever have any questions, you can reach out to me or my colleague Ola in the back. And thank you so much for having us today.
Ken, I know you had a question.
Thank you very much. I have a question about FECs, please. In our community board, we have Harmony Hub, which I think I can say we're pretty pleased with the quality of their service and engagement. I'm curious about the potential futures of FECs. Is there any consideration for FECs to become independent, incorporated nonprofit entities? Is the vision for them to remain under their parent community-based organization in perpetuity? And just what's the vision for the maturation of the program?
Sure. I mean, I think the current vision is for them to remain as they are now as parts of the nonprofits that they are affiliated with. That doesn't mean we're not open to other options in the future, but I think that's where we are at the moment.
Are there any other questions for the staff at ACS? Sure. Councilmember Riley's office.
Just use like this. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I had a quick question. So, and I apologize for missing the presentation early on, but does the FECs target like families that have either those children that are with with Down syndrome or some type of disability in mind? Because I mean, I know I apologize for coming in late, but I don't know if that was covered or if that was something that topic was covered. Yeah.
I'm going to start it and then turn it over to my colleagues. So family enrichment centers are walk-in places in communities where any family can come in and get support. They wouldn't specialize necessarily in serving a child with special needs. We do have, through our family services support programs, we do have a special medical program that would specialize and be specifically created for families who have children with needs like Down syndrome. And I could have either of them talk more if you'd like.
Hi, actually, Stephanie, you said it all. So special needs, our special medical needs can support that population. If you have any questions, you also can reach out to the support line and we can help guide you through the process. Oh, I'm so sorry. 212-676-7667.
Leo?
Thank you. Leonardo Coelho, Community Board 4. Thank you for the presentation. A lot of great information. You know, my mind always works on next steps. As far as the community boards go, you know, speaking specifically for Community Board 4, what are the type of partnerships that you're looking to have with the community boards? How can we be an assistance to these programs? You know, beyond the basics of just sharing information and sending out flyers and things like that. You know, just to put out one specific thing. You know, the community boards, every year we do a district needs assessment for budgeting. And what we were looking to do in the community boards a little more was to kind of really partner in with certain particular programs and organizations in our area and see if we can start to include a lot of the specific needs that those organizations have. And so that's just one example of what I think how the boards could be of service. So what's your vision of how we can work together?
Sure. First of all, I'm totally open to your vision, and I'd love to, you know, we can do it for each community board, but in particular for your community board, which are the providers for each of the services, which I don't know off the top of my head in your community. But we're also really focused on making sure that people in community know how to get help when they need it, because we often hear that people didn't know how to get help, or that people think the way to get help is to call in a report to the state central register, and then all of a sudden support arrives, which can happen, but people can get services and supports without that. And so we've been doing a lot of work to make sure that people in communities know how other ways to get help for families.
Mohammed?
Yeah. So,
Mohammed, the microphone is right in front of you.
oh, I'm sorry. So I have a question, how the community organization can involve and how you think the community organization can help? I'm very close to Community District 9, Sound Bay and Parkchester.
So first, I don't know the status of the FEC there, but that'd be a great, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, sure. So the Family Enrichment Center in that community district is the core. The FEC director there is Norma Saunders, 646-385-6338, serving the Soundview Parkchester neighborhood. They have been open for a couple years now, and I know that director in particular is very involved. At the city council level and at her CD level in seeking partnerships and ensuring that she has that connection. So you can contact that director, walk in at any time and participate in an offering or access her. I'm sorry?
What is the address there?
I'll get you the address right now. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, Norma Saunders is a very active member of CB9, and so we know her well. Are there any other questions?
I just wanted to add, with Family Services Division, I actually am with the Office of Family Engagement. So for community districts that are interested in connecting with our family services providers, it's a good idea to call 212-676-7667. We can support with tabling. We want to make sure that our providers are known within the community. Oftentimes they are not, because you also can just walk into those community providers, and families can also request services. So again, 212-676-7667. Please contact us, tabling events, anything that you would like to do in the community to connect, please make sure you reach out.
One of the potential tabling events, as you may know, Bronx Week is coming up in May, and we have a Health Day event and a youth event. So I'll put someone in touch with one of them to see which fits better for
That'd be great.
the event.
That would be great.
And just to add on, I think one of the ways that we can work together, or the partners can work together, is there is a QR code on our flyer, and each of them has either a social media page, they have their listing of monthly meetings and all the events. Some of them have really wonderful flyers that list a lot of services. So if there are things happening on the community board level that you'd like to get out to the partnerships, you can always send that information directly to that contact person at the partnership. So it can be a two-way dialogue. They can get on your list, you can get on their list, and of course the meetings are open, and you don't physically have to go to a meeting to get information, but there's also a way just to get to the director just by calling or emailing. But we can also make e-introductions if that's helpful.
Thank you. Okay, if there are no other questions, again, I apologize for the mix-up. We will be sharing this information with all of our boards. Again, it is being telecast, and it will be on our website, so we will be able to share that information, to the larger audience. Who would be the best person to be in contact with, in terms of our events?
You can reach out to me and
To you,
then I'll
okay.
send you to the right.
Terrific. Thank you very much. We appreciate you and your staff for being here today.
Thank you. And I'm going to
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just maybe a little on the table. Our second presentation this morning is from the Sanitation Foundation. Caroline Tobin and Jahari James. We'll just wait one moment for our audience to leave. Okay, Mr. James.
Yes.
You're up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jahadi James, Manager of Community Engagement with the Sanitation Foundation. It is a great pleasure to be here amongst the community boards. I see a few familiar faces. I'm joined with my colleague, Caroline Tobin, Director of Partnerships with the Sanitation Foundation. And today we're just going to go over a bit overview of the Sanitation Foundation and some of the programs that we have coming along this summer and spring for the Bronx. So the Sanitation Foundation, we are the official nonprofit partner to the Department of Sanitation. So before we get into what we do at the foundation, we like to talk a little bit about the Department of Sanitation and the awesome work that they do. I want to give a shout out to one of the strongest who's actually here with us right now. But many of us don't know that the Department of Sanitation is the largest sanitation department in the world. So over 10,000 members, men and women of the strongest. They collect 24 million pounds of trash on a daily basis. So New York City is creating 44 million pounds of trash, and the department is responsible for collecting 24 million pounds of that on a daily basis, right? They're sweeping the streets, they're plowing the snow, right? So a lot of work is being done by DSNY workers. 8.5 million residents in New York City, 62 million visitors annually. So we understand that it's a big, big job that the Department of Sanitation takes on. And that's where we come in as a sanitation foundation. We know that the department cannot do this job alone. So we as a sanitation foundation, we are the official nonprofit partner to the Department of Sanitation. And our vision is to make NYC the cleanest big city in the world, right? And how do we do that? Our mission is to make sure that New York City residents understand the important work that Department of Sanitation does and understand that it's a collective effort for all of us to get involved. Department of Sanitation can't do it by themselves. We all must roll up our sleeves and get in there to make this city cleaner, healthier, and more sustainable. So we rely on our 3 guiding pillars to make sure that we get our programs out to the residents of New York City. We like to engage, activate, and sustain New York City residents with our programming. So under our engage pillar, we have our education and awareness. What does that mean? We are in schools all over the 5 boroughs, right? From K through 12, our school programs and educator resources include our litter cleanups, our waste audits, our compost education. We like to get into the schools and engage with young people. Not only are we engaging with the students, we're also engaging with the teachers and administration. We have our train the trainer programs where we're teaching teachers how to help students sort their waste properly in schools. So being in schools is very important to us. We also have our adult education. You see my shirt. If you can't see my sweatshirt, this is our Trash Academy. Trash Academy just ended in March. It is a 10-module deep dive into New York City's waste history. Very, very interesting. And I, definitely encourage everyone to join NYC Trash Academy. So under Engage, we have our education. We have coming up in May, our Trucks of Art program. That is a great art installation where we did a contest and you had artists all over the city contribute designs, right? And you'll soon see New York City garbage trucks, DSNY garbage trucks all over the city with these designs from these artists, right? So on May 19th, we'll be revealing these garbage trucks with these designs. Under our Activate, many of us in the Bronx here are familiar with our cleanup series. So we have our cleanups, citywide volunteer cleanups. It is April now, this is Earth Month. So we are starting with our big spring clean. So through April and May, we have our big spring clean. Last year, we were able to engage over 150 community cleanup groups, not only community cleanup groups, but also corporate cleanup partners, corporate cleanup groups throughout New York City. So our big spring clean is very, very exciting as the weather starts to warm up. Finally, spring has sprung. So here we are in April now, and we are encouraging all the cleanup groups all over the city to just get involved, roll up your sleeves, and do that spring cleaning in your neighborhood. Very exciting. This summer, we have our Summer of Sports, the Yankees Summer Cleanup Series. Every year for the past 5 years, we're going on 6 years this summer, we partnered with the Bronx Borough President and the New York Yankees to host a number of cleanups right here in the Bronx. So this summer we'll be back again with the Yankees. This is a very, very exciting cleanup series. I'll get into it a little bit later as we go through, but that's how we also activate. And then sustain, long-term stewardship. So we understand that we lead with education, as we said, right? And then we get people engaged, and we want to make sure that that education and the engagement is sustained over a long period of time, right? So we have our Community Stewards Initiative where we have our community groups all over the city. They are able to join our volunteer hub and make sure they put their events there so we can continue to make sure other residents know what they're doing. And then we have our Adopt Your Spot NYC program. So many of you may have heard or may not have heard of these trash clubs all over the city. There's trash groups, there's people cleaning up and picking up litter all over New York City. Those are groups, right, that we engage and they come together and they do their cleaning. Well, Adopt Your Spot is a similar idea, but it's for individuals. So if you're an individual in your community and you say, hey, listen, that street, that tree pit across the street from me, the corner of my block, I'm tired of seeing it's an eyesore. I want to do something about it. Maybe I have been doing something about it and I just don't have the resources. You join our Adopt Your Spot program. If you see that map right under Sustain, those little hearts there represent all of the spots all over New York City. So we have over 1,000 adopters in New York City right now that have adopted spots, and they are caring for those spots. They take a pledge and they say, over this year, I'm going to take a pledge to be a steward of this particular spot. What do? We provide them with a Adopt Your Spot kit, right, which includes a picker, gloves, bags, to just get them started, to make them know that we are supporting them. They also join our WhatsApp group, which has over 1,000 folks in there that are engaging on a daily basis. As we speak right now, folks are in the WhatsApp chat sharing before and after photos. So the exciting stuff this summer, like I said, we're back. Annual Bronx Cleanup Series. This is one of our top programs that we put out there. Like I said, every summer we are in the Bronx. We've been many communities, and it's great to be here with the community board now so we can hear from you and see if there's an area in your community that you would like us to put on one of our routes. But if you look at the top right, you can see some of the stats from 2001 to 2025, over 2,000 volunteers, 22,000 pounds of trash we've collected. So we're making an impact, but like I said before, right, we want to make sure that this impact is sustained. So we understand that going out there and just cleaning up, right, oftentimes you clean up, 2 days later, the trash is right back, right? So how do we sustain the efforts that we are putting out there in the community? And we're gonna go into that a little bit. But as you see there, these are very exciting. Each volunteer receives one voucher that is for 2 Yankee tickets. So it's very exciting. Folks come out, they get their Yankee tickets. They also get some ice cream and some other things. A real great community engagement opportunity. So we love our Bronx Series cleanups, and we'll be making announcements soon, so stay tuned. All right, so I talked about engaging the community and having long-term stewardship. We talked about how our cleanups, we understand we'll come out, we can clean up 1,000 pounds of trash, and sometimes, unfortunately, a week later, that trash may return. So what we've been doing is we have one of our initiatives called the Clean City Alliance. We've been piloting this initiative, and we've been working on this hyper-local approach where we're working with community boards. We're working with the local bid to create educational programming and engagement on a hyper-local level where folks are not just coming out to clean up, but they're understanding why. Why do we need to keep our community clean? What are the different reasons and factors why your community needs to remain clean? Not just because we don't want to see trash on the ground, but there are health ramifications to it, right? You're not only affecting your health, the health of the wildlife in your community, and just the natural resources in your community. So what we've been doing is we started this series called Love the Hub. We partnered with Pedro Suarez at 3rd Avenue Bid down in the Hub, and we worked on a series of events. We did one that was a workshop, general educational workshop. We provided resources, educational materials to residents. We did that at La Central YMCA on Valentine's Day of this past Valentine's Day. So hence the Love the Hub, showing love to the Bronx, right? And then we did a part 2 of that just last week in collaboration with Bronx Community Board 1, and once again with the Hub, with 3rd Avenue Bid, and we gave away 25 Adopt Your Spot kits, right? So talking about sustaining the model and sustaining the efforts, we're not just doing the cleanup, we're actually going to give away the kits, and now those 25 community members have 25 more spots in the community that are going to be cleaned throughout the year. So that's the idea of long-term stewardship. Don't do NYC dirty. We just recently released this PSA last year, 2025. Really exciting. You may have seen the commercial. You may have seen this advertisement on one of the garbage bins somewhere along in the city. But this is our PSA to New Yorkers so that everyone understands the message. Plain and simple. Don't do NYC dirty, right? Trash your trash. So this is our message, and community boards, we would love to share, some of the promo materials with you so you can send out to your, to the residents of your community so they can just understand different ways to make sure we keep our community clean. One of the things we did with the PSA is we did a survey, and so this is some of the information that came from the survey. 83% of New Yorkers take pride in being a New Yorker. 80% see litter as a major problem. 10% reduction in intent to, right. right? The reduction of the intention of to reduce litter in the Bronx, right? So basically, folks have the right idea, right? So why isn't the job being done, right? And the reasons for littering, some folks say there's no bin nearby, they have small items, or one of the most popular ones, it's someone else's job, right? We all pay taxes. I pay my taxes. It's someone else's job. This is what we hear oftentimes, right? So this is why we like to lead with education. We like to let folks know residents, business owners, homeowners are responsible for cleaning the front of the sidewalk, right, up until 18 inches into the street. A lot of these facts many folks don't know, so this is why we like to lead with education first. This right here is a static. You're not going to be able to see the PSA because this was a PDF, but the PSA is really cool, and I, definitely encourage everyone to check it out. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, I want to leave some time for some questions. If anyone has any further questions, you could definitely check us out, www.sanitationfoundation.org, and on our Instagram @Sanitation Foundation. And like I said, I would like to hear from the community board if you guys have any locations that you would like us to look at this summer, and if you have any other questions.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Mohammed?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, 18 inches up until to the street, the landlord is responsible.
Right, so the whole sidewalk and then 18 inches into the street, correct?
Into the street.
Correct.
Ken?
Thank you very much. Ken Brown, District Manager at Community Board 5. Some questions about sanitation. We have, and I assume this is not unique to Community Board 5, we have elderly homeowners. And I'm thinking of one in particular that's pretty frail. She's in and out of the hospital a lot. So it's difficult for her to maintain her property. And she has caught hundreds of dollars in summonses and fines. And it happens repeatedly. And she's in the hospital so frequently that she misses her appointments at oath to pay or defend the summons. So that's one question, how can elderly homeowners navigate maintaining their property when their ability to do so is compromised? That's one. The other one is also for the elderly. Does DSNY have any capacity? 3 questions. Does DSNY have any capacity to help elderly homeowners with snow removal? Councilmember Sanchez's office has been helpful on occasion to do that kind of thing, but they have limited capacity to do that. So I was wondering if DSNY, the foundation, has any ability to address that. I forgot the other one.
No, that's all right. That's all right. So to the first question about the elderly woman needing help with maintaining the property, this is a question that I come across often, and what I usually suggest to folks is to work with local organizations. So like in Brooklyn, there's an organization called the Foot Soldiers, and they are sort of like what a bid does, right, for businesses, but they do that for homeowners, right? So that is one of the ways that homeowners who need assistance can get assistance from their community, right? And the second question was?
Oh, the elderly homeowners are catching tickets.
Are getting tickets. So I don't necessarily know. I don't know, if Supervisor, if you want to speak to that, because that's more of a DSNY question. Yeah. Right. I mean.
Oh, I remember the third question.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're ready. And I'm sure there's a citywide concern. We, like everybody else, are awash in street vendors, and it's very difficult to get DSNY to come out sufficiently frequently enough for inspections to really have a bite. Mm-hmm. So is there any hope of relief around that?
Chief, I think that's you.
Good morning, everyone.
Could you just take the microphone?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Robert Falcaro, Deputy Chief with Sanitation in the Bronx Borough. Ken, it's nice to actually meet you. I deal with you on emails a whole lot. Actually, a lot of these issues we went back and forth with. I don't have a lot of great answers, unfortunately, in terms of access. That may be something that I believe Jahari had spoke on and can maybe help out. Unfortunately, with any elderly, I do know with the oath process, we don't have a whole lot to do with it once the violations are issued. The only thing I could ever suggest is, obviously a specific address or something like that. I can't give any kind of special treatment or anything along those lines. It gets very gray and iffy there. But I could have my officers obviously, provide some leniency in when there is a specific issue or a homeowner is sick, ill, elderly, whatnot. And obviously the litter there is collecting from the neighborhood and the neighbors and stuff like that. Snow removal as well. I mean, we really don't get into any personal property or anything like that. There does come obviously legal ramifications that can come along with that, especially going on the property. The sidewalk could be something we may address if something ever, you have my contact, obviously, anyone here for that matter. If there's ever anything we can do, if I can lend a hand one time, but it becomes another thing that you clean my neighbor's property, what about my property? I received the summons. It does get iffy. And the street vendors as well. Huge challenge. I don't have a great answer. I send my vending team probably hates me at this point. They're very understaffed, but they are very proactive for the staffing that they do have, or at least I believe. Anything I send to them, I get an answer within usually, hopefully 24 hours, maybe 48 hours. I've at least made it, an investigation that night or something, and they get back to us with the summons issued. Unfortunately, a lot of these vendors don't have a lot of overheads and a lot of fear, and I don't know if it's the fines or that they're just considering it part of their business, and they take it on the chin and then they show back up the next day. And that's something that we struggle with, is like repeat investigations daily with there being so many vendor issues. When I send them something like, yeah, we went there 2 days ago, I'm like, all right, they're back. Help. So again, I apologize for that. The only thing I could offer, maybe if it's a city council thing, if it's a borough president thing, it could possibly be maybe some more funding and some more posts where we could, get some more officers and beef up these. Then we have a problem with vending, car washes, another issue, the illegal car wash, the same thing. The same enforcement team that we staff with that is staffed with both, and they're just spread thin. There's very few citywide. Cameras, another funding thing we get from like the council members, and I believe the Bronx Borough president did give a very large amount supply for that. I don't have the intel of where that money went past us receiving that money and that whole presentation, but that was excellent. The cameras do help. And with the license plate readers and stuff like that for illegal dumping, car washes, and you name it. And resources like that have been helping. Again, Ken, you can send me everything you got. I try to act on anything I can to help you out. I hope we've done a good job at that. And again, anything with any elderly or aging, it might be obnoxious, or if you have something, I don't mean obnoxious, but with your office or whatnot, if somebody could help them, I don't know if they're allowed to speak on their behalf with oath, but I do know that they do give leniency for the elderly, for sure. To what capacity, I don't know, unfortunately. Okay.
Thank you.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you. And just to add real quick, to the elderly issue, and like I said, reaching out to community-based cleanup groups as well. So I know I mentioned that group that's in Brooklyn, but there's a lot of cleanup groups, and you can find them on our site, sanitationfoundation.org. Yeah. So that is a way of connecting with people in the community who actually are stewards of the community. They're doing the work. And I would think that would be a good outlet to see if some of them can assist, some of the elderly with cleaning their spaces, because they're already doing the work. You know what I mean?
Okay. Any other questions? We'll be working with you, obviously, again, on the Yankee schedule.
Awesome.
We will be reaching out to the boards through Kira or Persephone to find locations that we can work with this year. I know we gave you the list. You kind of dwindle it down to the size and the scope that you can do with the number of volunteers you have. So any long stretches, I know the one that I was at with the borough president last year was on Westchester Square. And we did the park, and then we did Westchester Avenue going in both directions. So we will be sharing that information with the boards and having them get back to us. You just have to kind of give me a time frame as to when you need it so that we can get it to you in time.
Also, yes, I would say within the next few weeks would
Okay.
be great. Yeah, definitely before mid-May.
Okay,
would
that's
be
fine.
awesome.
We'll get it to you. Okay.
Good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Again,
Thank
we
you for
will
your time.
share this with each of the boards as well. Before we go to announcements, Eric Pesner, who's our Director of Policy, has an announcement from the meeting.
Yes, good morning. So this year, our office is fulfilling our charter requirement to produce a new strategic policy statement. And as part of that process, we were required to consult with the community boards. So Kira will be sending a formal letter shortly asking for what we want, but basically we're asking you to submit a written statement to our office regarding identified issues, specific issues facing the Bronx as a whole, as well as your district in particular, the most urgent needs in your neighborhoods, and some recommendations about how you want these issues tackled. The deadline we're asking for is the end of June to submit a written statement, and this will be used as our office compiles the strategic policy statement to bring in the perspective of the community boards about the issues that are most important to your communities in particular. So we're making sure that we get a full picture of the entire borough. So as I said, Kira will be sending out a formal letter shortly. So all of the boards, so you have it to the chairs and DMs. We can answer any questions that you might have as this process goes forward.
Thank you.
Sorry, Tom.
Sure.
Just quick, I know you're gonna send some information.
Yeah.
It's just, the announcement didn't really click in my mind. So you're saying policy issues?
So 4 years ago, so this has to be done every 4 years. And 4 years ago, I think most, if not all, of the boards submitted something. So it's the strategic policy statement identifies the issues that are affecting the borough, policy goals related to those issues, and specific strategies for meeting those goals. So that's what the whole statement will include. The charter does require the borough president's office to consult with the boards about the issues that they perceive in their communities. So I mean, it could be anything really that your board identifies as an issue that needs to be addressed in the borough, in your district.
Legislatively or financially, budgetary, like it could be any of those things.
Anything at all.
And Leo, we can share the most recent policy statement with you so that you know, so you have a better idea of what it includes. And then I'm sure CB4 also has what they submitted last year, or 4 years ago. I'll send that over to you today. Oh, sorry.
You want to give it to Ken? Thank you. Okay, thank you, Eric. We have just a few announcements. Well, first of all, this event, which was actually 2 weeks ago, last week? 2 weeks ago. It's here partly because it wound up being a very successful event. We did get, and Juton from our planning unit was our lead on this and got a very good feedback from the community, a lot of social media hits on it. So while the event itself or the day itself is gone, we are going to be encouraging and kind of putting it out there every couple of months to kind of do that walkthrough and see what lights may be out. There were a couple of communities that actually did a walkthrough. They met at a certain location. I know particularly on White Plains Road, where they met, and then they walked around the community, took down all the particular street lights that were out, and then reported them to DOT through 311. So while this did occur already, it is something that we are going to continue moving forward. Our focus, future focus Bronx, are all of our Department of Labor, Borough President-sponsored career fairs. Our next career fair will be on April the 29th. right down here at East 161st Street, and then the listing through October. My Brother's Keeper, the Health Fair, which is this Thursday at the Stevenson Campus Library. This is part of the Borough President's work with the organization My Brother's Keeper, and it is a screening and health information session. This Thursday is also our Greek Heritage Month, which is being held at St. Peter the Apostle Greek Orthodox Church. Bronx Denim Day March is next Thursday, April the 23rd. This is a march to end sexual violence. It will begin at Lou Gehrig Plaza, and then the march and the rally will follow. This is this coming Wednesday, which is NYCHA Tea Time, a brunch and round table with all of the leaders of our NYCHA tenants councils, and we will be working with them on estate planning, Section 8 voucher injustice. This is another My Brother's Keeper resource fair, and this is being held at Gregorio Luperan High School on West 165th Street, similar to the event that was held, the other event that you saw on the screen. This event is also this Thursday, a very, very heavy day this Thursday, which is here at Bronx Borough Hall, and this is specifically a Department of Buildings session regarding the new security grills requirement. As you know, that all of the security gates must have 75% transparency, and this law actually went into effect 11 years ago, and it is now, it was passed 11 years ago, coming into effect July 1st of this year. We're reaching out to any of the organizations within your district, particularly owners, because even with bids and merchants associations, the responsible party in most cases, unless your lease says something a little differently, is the owner of the building. So we are trying to get as many bids, merchants associations out, businesses who are interested to come and hear the presentation from the Department of Buildings. Excuse me, the Power Pink and Prayer is the Power of Pink and a Day of Prayer, which is being held at the Ramah Christian Center on Fish Avenue in Board 12. And it's a Cancer Society event as well. Our prom dress giveaway, which is part of our Bronx Week event, is being held, Bronx Week events is being held on Friday, May 8th here at Borough Hall. First come, first served. And we will be having hundreds of dresses and suits and other items for prom. Our virtual graduate fair is being held on May the 7th. It's a Zoom event. All of those colleges you see on the bottom are participating, and also you would learn about financial aid and various degree programs, and there is a registration, and here are the colleges that are part of it.
Tom?
Yes.
Is it too late to add a private college to that?
What are we missing?
No. I would like to solicit some and see if they could participate.
We could ask. I know Angel has been working on this, so I don't know what the capacity is, but we could find out.
Okay.
And this is our annual parade and festival as part of Bronx Week, Sunday, May 17th at Marshallou Parkway. Just in terms of Bronx Week, we are preparing a guide for all of the events that are occurring during Bronx Week, which we will be sharing online and in some capacity in a booklet form, but all of our events will be on our website. One of the events is Tennis Night with Dad. It's part of our Bronx Fathers Taking Action organization that works with the Borough President's Office, and it's a night where the young people can play tennis with Dad at the Carrie Leaks facility. The Bronx Leads. This is the motto for Bronx Week this year, which is the Borough President's motto for her next 4 years. Bronx Week does begin on Friday, May the 1st, and it continues through the parade date, which is Sunday, May the 17th. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. That's everything. You will get these electronically, either today or tomorrow at the latest. You will also get the 2 presentations that were presented today as well.